Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Drive at 5. Aaron Jackson and Mark Paulette in the Greenway Equipment Studios. We are brought to you by Bangor Window Shade and Drapery. Custom blinds, shades, drapery, outdoor awnings. They've got it all at Bangor Window Shade, 105 Main Street in Bangor. And by UMaine Athletics. Go to goblackbears.com/tickets to get UMaine football season tickets now. Argentina very shortly will be going on to the final of the World Cup, it would appear.
Mr. Soccer over there.
Yep.
Just keeping it updated on these final 20 minutes.
We are brought to you in the Drive at 5 by Acadia Federal Credit Union. Their newest location is open on Wilson Street in Brewer, serving Maine since 1963 with branches in Bangor, Brewer, and Aroostook County. Learn more at acadiafcu.org. Here's what we have coming up in the second hour of the show. We'll have your drive poll, and we will talk about some off-sports topics, including the bill that is up yet again and the federal legislature to make daylight savings time permanent, and I will continue my yearly rants of why that's a bad idea and why we need to make standard time permanent. So you have something to look forward to there. If you haven't heard it before, it is quite riveting, and if you have heard it before, you probably are nodding your head in agreement with me. Yet another thing that our government gets wrong.
As you were ranting about daylight savings time there, you were missing the Argentinian goalkeeper being about 14, 15 yards outside of goal on the ground. He was sprawling all around before the ball eventually made it back. Now, granted, we are watching this game on mute, so I don't know if there was like an offsides flag up or something that then took out the rest of the play. But currently, we're at 101-30 and counting. 9 minutes of added time. Again, Argentina did score in the added time, so that bumps an extra 2 or 3 minutes onto the end of the clock here, but
he's taking a sweet time kicking this ball.
They are taking their sweet time, are the Argentines.
That is...
England's about to... Oh, there it is.
That is
Whistle.
Another thing that I don't like about soccer.
Messi's back in the final.
Is when they, at the end of games, when one team has like a 1-goal lead...
It just randomly ends?
But they get away with some pretty dramatic, like, stalling.
Yeah.
Like, it's absurd, and there should be penalties for that.
Yeah. No, I'm not the biggest fan of added time, extra time, whatever you want to call it. Technically, so that's the other tough part of it for our American minds. You got the added time at the end of regulation,
right.
And then should you have to play on in these knockout rounds, it goes to extra time. And then you could have added time in extra time. So
which is what we had this time.
No, this was still regulation.
Oh, right.
This was the 9 minutes at the end of regulation.
This was added time on to added time.
Correct, because you had a goal in there. So imagine the AFC Championship game, the equivalent of this, right? The semifinal in the tournament. The Patriots are driving. They're down 4 points, so they can't kick a field goal to tie the game.
Yeah.
But Drake May rips off 3 chunk plays. He gets to the 40-yard line of the opposition. But instead of counting down to all zeros on the clock, football, it's just this mysterious cloud that's hanging over the game at the discretion of the referee.
We don't know how much time is left.
Drake gets the snap. He drops back to pass. A.J. Brown is streaking down the field alone. Cornerback fell down.
And the refs call it.
May releases the ball as it's spiraling through the air to land in A.J. Brown's hands. Referee just blows a whistle, says, game's over.
It's stupid. I don't like that.
Now, granted, it doesn't... The discretion part of it does kind of take that out because, like, had England been sprinting at the goal
they probably
right there,
wouldn't have called it.
Correct. If they had a counter going and it looks like they're trying to set up for a goal, the referee's not going to blow it. It's when the ball's at the other end of the pitch.
But, like, the Argentinian goalie there held the ball on his quote-unquote kick.
For a good almost minute.
I was going to say minute and a half. I think it was about that long. And so that is time that England could have done something with had they had the opportunity. And that is my ultimate problem. There needs to be like set time frames. Like your goalie has the ball and he has a free kick. You give him 10 seconds to set up what he needs to do. And if it goes beyond that, you lose that and the other team gets the possession. Like they need to have something, or like for instance, England earlier before they lost, they were stalling by guys, oh, my butt hurts. Like they were literally just rubbing their butt on the ground.
Every time.
And it's like, okay, well, that's another minute that you just wasted, which is very intentional. He gets up, he walks around, he's fine.
And this is the calculus that the referee, not the referee because it actually comes from an assistant referee
right.
Who has the board and everything, but
That's what they need to get rid of.
That's the calculus they're trying to do in their head while this game is going on to figure out, okay, how much time was the England left back holding onto his butt cheek there for? I feel like it was about 40 seconds, but at the end of the game, I'm going to add about 25 for that.
Yeah,
and I
like
have to
what
remember,
percentage do you add?
Yeah, I've got to remember this next challenge that comes in and wastes like a minute and 14 seconds right here and try to add that back on, or at least the fair equivalent to that time at the end of the game.
There's two ways that they could fix this. One is, like I said, like the 10 seconds to do the thing. Like if you're hurt, you have 10 seconds to get off the court, or the clock stops.
Now, that being said, you don't like the way it ends. I'm not the biggest fan of the way it ends, but that was thrilling, was it not? Watching Argentina just have to throw everything they have at the goal because...
It would have been just as thrilling if they didn't have any of those issues that we've talked about.
Well, they knew they had some time remaining when they started doing it. They knew they had about 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Anywhere between like 10 and 13 minutes to get the job done. Turned out to be anywhere between 10 and 21 minutes to get the job done.
I'm just saying, like, that would be a simple fix for me. Like, you have a set amount of time for a guy that's injured or a guy that's holding the ball before play has to resume, or else you get penalized. Or the clock stops. Like those are the options.
That would be the simplest option, to just hit stop on the clock and then restart it. But
because then a guy's not going to lay on the ground for 5 minutes because there's no benefit to that anymore.
That to them is like me trying to make the case for relegation and promotion in American sports. Which we
should do.
No, I know we should do it. It would be more exciting, but it hasn't been the case for 100 years, 100 plus years. So it's not going to be the case.
I look at it like the pitch clock in Major League Baseball. And that it was a thing that people fought forever, but you know what? At least on TV, it's made the game better.
Well, listen, if we're going on random soccer rants to begin the drive at 5, they've got VAR in the game, which ruins it and takes out any bit of excitement or, I hate the fact that a laser 5 minutes after the fact of a guy's toenail can take a goal off the board that should have tied a World Cup match with 2 minutes remaining.
To make that faster.
If you have that in the game, and it's bogging it down as much as it is, and it's a huge problem, but you're not doing anything to make it better for the fans' perspective, why can't you stop the clock?
Yes.
Why can't you just have a timer there? Have a dedicated person at the touchline.
It's not hard.
Start, stop. Every other sport does it.
I was going to say, there's no other sport that has a running clock that does not stop, right? I mean, I'm dragging the different sports across my mind as we speak. I can't think of one that doesn't have any stoppages. And they actually have stoppages in this one. We had water breaks for everybody. And the field gets a water break. The clock. Wait, did the clock stop then? Yeah, it stops then, right?
They stop it for the water breaks, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Really?
At a certain point, when billions of dollars get involved in the sport and the tournament finds its way to America, all of a sudden there are commercial breaks in the game that has never had it before.
Think of the money they could make by having commercials that play like 3/4 of the screen when the clock is stopped because Messi's laying on the ground with a hangnail.
Yep.
Like, it's a no-brainer. So now I've already gone back to hating soccer again.
You ran the full spectrum here.
I did.
You started off this segment. You ended the first hour of the show being as fired up as I had ever seen you about the world's game. You were just waiting for that Argentinian goal to come.
Yeah, that was exciting.
And then within 10 minutes, you're back to pooping on it.
Because it's such an easy fix, and it would benefit everybody. Like, what's the downside?
To stopping the clock? I don't have one.
That's what I'm saying.
I will sign up for that petition.
Right. All right. Speaking of clocks, we'll talk about daylight savings time here later on the second hour of the show.
Drive at 5.
Someday we'll have a clock in the studio. Jim said it's in a cart somewhere. I don't know what that means. Like he just has a cart on a website somewhere that he just hasn't checked out on yet.
We could have had your not your microphone, your microwave today, but
I should have brought that in and put it in the corner as the clock until we got a real one.
At some point.
That would have been brilliant. I wish I had thought of that because it's a big boy microwave. It would have taken up a lot of space. It's bright red. Now, so it would have been obvious.
Me personally, I'm looking at 4 different digital clocks in front of me, so I'm set. It's just you guys that are clockless.
Yeah, no, I have to look at my phone, but the phone, as we all know, is like the most distracting thing in the history of things. So now I have notifications.
That thing on your wrist that tells time.
Yeah, but that also has all the notifications. So it's like, and I avoid those things because I don't want to be distracted during segments. But then I don't get to see the time because it always says it's 1:50.
Do you have a digital analog clock on your wrist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm someone who wants to continue to understand to read.
You don't want to lose the art?
Yeah, and I feel like if I didn't have that, I would lose the art because nobody's clocks are analog anymore. So I like having an analog clock.
That would really be something if we just took away the ability for people, not even kids, people under the age of like 21 to digitally tell time. Said, here's an analog clock. Figure out what time of the day it is.
I wonder how hard. I mean, it's not particularly difficult.
You telling me you're a teacher, Aaron?
Yeah.
First day of school next year. Break out this experiment.
I should do that. I mean, they're not going to have cell phones anymore.
Exactly.
Per state law, so now's the time to do it.
Yep.
The problem is all the clocks in our building, none of them are on the same time anymore because of daylight savings times, because of battery issues on the clocks. They're so high up that you have to get a ladder to actually change them.
You just need one, though.
No one bothers with them anymore.
Just one to test them.
Yeah, I should do that. Because it's not hard. It's really not a hard thing to do. Like, you look at the clock. See, this is the problem. I can't look at my clock now because Whole Foods Organic wants to let me know that there's blueberries for yogurt toppings. So now I have to clear that, and then I can see the time again.
Or you could just get, an actual watch that doesn't have messages shooting into it.
Could just get a clock. It's in the cart.
If you're unaware, there are no sports happening today outside of the semifinal that just ended.
Did we ever find out if the ESPYs are in fact happening today?
They are.
Okay. How many, I'm asking you questions you don't know the answer to, Mark.
Yes, you are.
Well, while you pull that up, I will let you know we're brought to you by Novus Auto Glass. Call Novus Auto Glass today, 945-6688, to get your windshield repaired or replaced. The ESPYs tonight on ESPN. Start time, 8 o'clock?
Sure. Yeah, actually, I just scrolled by that.
Voting is now closed. I would hope so. I'm curious to know how many Boston sports figures make the cut. We said earlier,
I can't imagine many.
Drake May is in there. I can't imagine there's any Red Sox.
No.
Sincerely doubt there's any Bruins.
Nope.
There's probably a Celtic in there somewhere.
Is there, though? What would it be for?
Joe Mazzulla, Brad Stevens, Executive of the Year, Coach of the Year. They got to be in there somewhere.
I don't think they do that at the ESPYs. Because,
is it all only just players?
It's all like, it's like best of this, best of that. Yeah. But I don't think they go to like executive level. Like Drake May is up for best NFL player and best breakthrough male athlete for the last year.
Okay. Who are the other athletes in breakthrough athlete of the year?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, that's helpful. That would be a good thing to know, actually, because I'm curious to know, is he going to actually win something? Not that I think he cares and we care, but it would be interesting to see who else he's going up against. Let's see.
He is going
probably
up.
Wemby.
He is going up. Nope.
No.
He's going up against figure skater Alyssa Liu.
Okay.
He's going Macklin Celebrini of this, going against Macklin Celebrini of the San Jose Sharks, teenager, 100-point season, and he's going against Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman winning quarterback.
Oh, so he should win.
You would think if it's a popularity contest, Drake May would win this.
I would think, and just like the achievement. I mean, listen, college football is great and all, but
national champion and a Heisman, I think, trumps no MVP and no Super Bowl.
Yeah, but it's the NFL, man. And then the other two, I don't know enough about them to know.
Figure skating and Celebrini is one of the brightest stars in the NHL. I mean, he was at, BU 2 years ago as a 17-year-old?
Is that right?
It was one of the Bs.
I don't know.
It was one of the Bs.
BU or BC. Huh. All right. So there's only 4 of them. That's interesting. So it's all fan vote, right? So we should have probably promoted Drake May once or twice for this award.
You're asking all kinds of questions that I don't have answers to.
Yeah. Brought to you by Next Home Experience. Next Home, the market leader. Get looped and get sold with Next Home Experience. We'll take a break. When we come back, a sports center, a weather forecast will get you today's drive poll. One of Us. Thank you. That right there by Mark Dondero.
Sure.
Never heard the name before. Never heard the man before. On 98.5 The Sports Hub. Nailed it. He took that, if you were a construction worker, you see those guys that put the one nail up and then just take that big old swing with a hammer and one swing knocks it all the way in. That's what that man just did. To say that you're happy with a 9-game win streak with the Boston Red Sox and that you're happy as can be right now is...
We've been deluded to Moneyball.
Yeah.
Remember how that movie ends? With a regular season win streak. That's how the movie comes to a close with the A's chasing down the AL record win streak, because you know what happened in the playoffs that year? They blew a lead against the Red Sox in the divisional series.
I think what he hit maybe the heart of what we've been trying to say about this win streak so well right there. It's not that we can't celebrate a 9-game win streak and we can't even feel a little bit of joy from that. It's that's the highlight. That's the best that we can expect as Red Sox fans if you believe what we've seen over the last few years, if you believe John Henry. Like this is the reality. And I, for one, as Mark Dondero said, refuse to accept that. I know what the Red Sox can be. I know what the Red Sox should be. And what they should be is a team that perennially is a World Series contender. Full stop.
Yep.
And it has been so long since we felt that way about this team because of the management that a 9-game win streak sure as heck is not going to get me fired up the way it used to.
Oh, God, yeah, because a 9-game win streak at this point in the year, well, I was going to say 10 years ago, but 10 years ago.
Mediocre. A 9-game win streak meant that we're borderline mediocre.
Not even at 500 yet. You got to come out of 500. You got 10 straight games at Fenway. And again, like Ernie and I were talking about this trend yesterday about how they've been so great going into breaks and substandard coming out. Mediocre to worse than mediocrity coming out in recent years. What's the number here? Actually, I think I put it in the driver today. Red Sox are 44-7 since 2023 entering the All-Star break. Now, granted, that's different chunks of games going in, but it's like 8-1, 9-1, 12-0, 9-0 this year. They are 21-27 coming out of the All-Star break, so they go right back to losing. You can't do that this year. If you do, the 9-game win streak is out the window. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you've climbed over 4 teams to get back into the mix. You're half a game outside the first wildcard spot. Granted, there are 2 teams tied for that spot right now, so someone is still in between you and it. But I liken it, like I did the other day, to kind of like a huge run in the game of basketball where a team expends so much energy going on, say, a 20-2 run to get within 3 or 4 points near the end of the game, and that's as close as they get. They never get over the hump because of everything it took to get to that point.
Yeah. We're brought to you by Heroes Sports Grill and Entertainment Center. Heroes, the official sports grill of the Drive and the place to be in downtown Bangor at heroesportsgrill.com. Also by Casella, good pay, good people, good life. Find your place of power of hardwork.com. What's happening now is that we're put ourselves in this crappy situation where, on the one hand, you want to be happy for a 9-game win streak. On the other hand, part of me is hoping that they fall flat on their face post-deadline or post-All-Star break because I know that this team is not capable of winning a World Series. And if they're not capable of winning a World Series and they're barely capable of being at 500, I don't want them to invest a ton in this. Like, you know what I mean? If they continue to win, they're going to feel like they want to invest more. And I just feel like that's the worst possible scenario for this team, given what we know about them. And so it sucks as a fan to almost be rooting against the team you love.
I wouldn't say I'm there. I just have no confidence that this team could win the World Series, but it would take so much addition at the deadline in the lineup specifically
that they're never going to do.
That they're going to come short of it because you would have to make video game style trades to overhaul this lineup and get the power in there, or at least the run production necessary to feel good about sustaining this level of winning over the second half. It doesn't take all that much with the pitching that they have, but you know that we have seen this movie for the last 3 years. They're going to try to thread the needle. They're going to try to intelligently go after these bargain bin deals, and they're going to come out of the deadline with a guy that's hitting like 240 with 4 home runs and telling us that he's going to make the difference.
Right. And so ultimately, wouldn't it be better for the team to sell? And I hate that. Like, I hate that I have to say that, but what other alternative is there? Like, there's no world where the Red Sox are going to make the moves required to actually be World Series contenders, right? We both agree on that. Like, it's just not.
I can't see it.
It's not going to happen. And even if they wanted to, I'm not sure that there's the guys out there for them to make the move for.
That's the other part of it, is looking at the crop of players, the crop of teams that are far enough out of it that they would be willing to make moves. And then you have to look at what are the Red Sox bringing to the table to make those moves. Do you have to get creative? And if you're looking for actual impact at this deadline right now, do you have to send a Marcelo Meyer out of town? Do you have to send some other premium, a Franklin Arias that, if you haven't been paying attention, he's the number 7 prospect in baseball right now.
Playing out of his mind in Portland.
Yeah, the guy's hitting .320 with close to 20 homers in like 70 games at Portland. Roman Anthony was number 1 when he came up and changed the entire complexion of this team. Franklin Arias, not saying that he's going to do that, but he's number 7. He's only 6 slots lower on that list. So, like, he is as premium as any prospect out there is currently, and that's what we're asking in our drive poll. If given that hypothetical, like, there is a trade out there to be had, but you have to give up impact to the team right now, who would you be most willing to trade at this deadline? Sonny Gray, Marcelo Meyer, earlier Tolle in a deal or Franklin Arias as the potential centerpiece. 64% say Meyer, 14% say they would trade out Sonny Gray, 14% say no thanks, and even the Gray one, like that's something that I just kind of came up with the other day on the show when we were in here. But that would have to be the absolute perfect scenario because
it would be.
The LA Angels have zero interest in Sonny Gray for, say, a Zach Neto, who I would love the Red Sox to go out and get, but they don't need an 11-1 pitcher right now on a team that's going nowhere.
Yeah, you'd have to find a team that's desperate for pitching help at the same time having a glut of hitters.
Yeah, you would have to find, is Atlanta willing to sell off one of their bats? Is
the Dodgers?
Sure, like something out there. The one that I was looking at was Jeremy Pena with Houston because all they have is bats. They have no arms. So is that a team that could still feel like they're close enough in the mix that doesn't want to pay Pena moving forward?
Let me ask you
make
this.
That trade.
So Jeremy Pena, I think I would do that in a heartbeat for Sonny Gray. You get younger. You get a valuable piece in your infield. Isaac Paredes.
Isaac Paredes?
I would do that too.
Nah.
He's good. He's got good power.
He's got power.
He's got versatility, first base, third base. He's even playing some second base now.
Yeah, but you can find him all over baseball. Jeremy Pena has a different element to him.
I don't think you can find Paredes just anywhere.
Like 20, 25 homers at the corner infield.
Those guys with a good average.
Well, good, like 240 to 260 for
the
today.
Red Sox, it would be really good.
Yeah, he's not the guy that tips the scales that drastic.
You'd rather have Pena, but
I would rather have Pena.
I can see that. I'm not sure that Sonny Gray gets you Pena, but maybe.
No, it would be Sonny Gray and I don't even know if Houston would have any interest in Sonny Gray. So then what do you have to give up? Like at this point, I don't think you or I are willing to include Peyton Tolle or Connolly early in any sort of trade scenario at this point in the year, are we?
Tolle, no. I would consider early.
If I told you,
I would consider it.
This seems like an overpay, but you always have to overpay in season. If you could have Zach Neto from the Angels, who doesn't hit for a big average, he's hitting 235 this year, but really good power and speed at shortstop.
Speed, yep.
And he plays shortstop, a premium position. So the last 2 years, 249, 23 homers, 77 RBI, 30 stolen base, 257, 26 homers, 62 RBI, 26 stolen base. This year, hitting 235, but he's got 19 home runs. He's a leadoff hitter type. If the cost for him, a guy who the Red Sox tried to trade for multiple times this last offseason and were turned away because the Angels' price was too high, their asking price, if they ask for Early and Meyer, for a guy that's already established in the major leagues at the position, is that too much? Because for me, including Early is, but I would include Marcelo Meyer in a trade for this guy.
In a heartbeat. I mean, that's not even a question. Because at his best, Marcelo Meyer would be that.
You would hope, right?
Like that's best case scenario, whereas Neto's already doing it. I would seriously consider it. But I
really like Early.
I don't know. Like, I'd have to look at all those peripheral numbers that no one cares about on Neto before I would pull a trigger on that.
It's like a 3. He's improving, but he went from like a 310 OBP as a rookie to like 330 now.
Okay. So he gets on base. He steals bases. He hits homers. Good defensively, relatively speaking. Yeah. Above average, at least.
Yeah. Average.
I mean, okay.
You're going to get more out of his bat than you get out of Meyer's glove, probably.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, of the two, Early Tolle, I would prefer Early go because I think Tolle's fastball that's an elite pitch. I don't think Early has an elite pitch. He's got a lot of good pitches, but he doesn't have an elite pitch. I think Tolle's got that elite pitch that's hard to come by.
It's something to play off, too, just with his size and his reach. And if you get like a devastating wipeout pitch to go with Tolle's fastball, yeah, he will be just a different level of pitcher than what we've seen.
If he can just dial in one breaking ball or a changeup a little bit more, like he is close to being a top of the rotation starter. Early is to me like he's always going to be what he is right now, which is a middle of the road kind of like a 3-4 guy.
Yeah, I see him developing though into like a 2.8, 2.9 like sub-3 ERA guy. He's just so clean on the mound. I would have to be blown away by the return to include him in a deal.
He does have better control. That's for sure. But I would trade Early, but I would rather trade neither of them. Meyer, sure. Yeah, at this point, I'm fine. Go away. I've never really liked him. He's always been injured. He's never lived up to the hype in my mind. Like, he's been so much hype and not enough substance that I've just never been enamored with him.
So along that line, Franklin Arias, like where do you draw that line of including him in trades now?
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere?
Unless you give me...
Because Marcelo Meyer was Franklin Arias.
I know.
A couple of years ago.
But here's the thing.
He wasn't putting up the same numbers.
Look at Marcelo Meyer's minor league numbers, and he never once has done what Franklin Arias is doing right now.
Yeah.
He never did it. He never has done it. At every step of the way, he has been more hype than reality in what he actually produces. He's never been able to put together a season like Franklin Arias is right now. And so Meyer, again... I'd be happy to ship him out. He's a fine defender, and I think there's potential for a good bat there someday. But if you can get a piece to help you right now, 100%, he's gone. After that, I have a hard... Arias, you'd have to really give me something good. I wouldn't do him for Pena straight up. I know that's crazy to say, but that would require me to believe that the Red Sox would extend him beyond this season, and I have very little confidence that they would be willing to do so.
Well, I mean, if they're trading for the guy, they would have to.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. I don't think that they would. I think that they would rent him for a year, hoping to re-sign him in the offseason, quote unquote, knowing that the price tag will get too high and they'll never do it. So then you would give up Franklin Arias for half a year of Jeremy Pena. I genuinely believe that's what the Red Sox would do if that happened. So no, I would not deal him for him. That's the state of affairs that we're in.
I don't know.
We're in a scenario now where it's like you look at what the Red Sox are and you say to yourself, well, how could they be a World Series team? And you say, well, they need 2 bats. Okay, well, you know they're not going to do that. So you cross that line off. Can they make it to the World Series if everything goes right with the team they have now? Probably not. Seems very far-fetched to believe so. So it leaves me circling the only answer that I can see, which is you sell. You don't buy, you sell the Chapmans, the Grays. I like Contreras enough where I'd want a love for him. I'm fine with keeping him on board. They need a first baseman.
Let me ask you this then. What is the point to sell if you have no faith in the organization trying to compete moving forward or trying to
what other choice do we have?
Make the moves to compete? Because we were sold on selling. Remember, the rebuild came when Chaim Bloom came in 5-6 freaking years ago at this point. Yep. That's when the organization tried to sell us on a rebuild, tried to sell us, wait for Meyer, wait for Anthony. We have gone through that point. Don't sell me on another rebuild now. Don't sell me on having to sell pieces because I don't think they're going to strike when it comes time to strike in the future.
Because eventually what's going to happen, if you keep kicking the can down the road, John Henry's getting older, man. That's all I'm saying.
He's trying to kick that can by John Henry?
Like, eventually his health will take him to a place where he no longer can be the owner of the team and he'll have to sell it. Or maybe he has someone else in his Fenway Sports Group system that is more passionate. I don't know. But to me, like, that's the hope. That's why you kick the can down the road, because eventually you get rid of John Henry, and then when you get rid of him, you have pieces to build with.
You're hoping Franklin Arias comes out the other end of the John Henry tenure.
I just, it's pathetic and it's sad, but, what else is there, Mark? What else is there about this team that makes you say, yeah?
No, there isn't, but that, just kind of what I just said, also has me thinking that selling is pointless. Because then you're just selling. So then, selling for the promise of future contention that you know they're not going to spend to contend for.
So you can't sell because there's no point because the future is bleak. You can't buy now because they're just not going to. You can't rely on the team they have currently to be a World Series contender.
We're exactly where John Henry wants us to be.
There's no other option, Mark.
Operating in the illusion of contention, half a game outside of a wild card, while the fan base starts to come alive again. That's exactly where he wants us to be. We are right there. We're trying to find ways out of it. He is making sure that we're stuck in it.
Yeah.
Because every year is the same cycle. It's a repeat.
I know.
It's just change out one character, change out this storyline, get to the same result in the end.
Yeah. But that's why I think selling is the only logical thing to do. Because at least it pushes it to the future. Because eventually John Henry will go away. As far as I can tell, that's how life works.
I don't know. Those billionaires, them and their anti-aging
How old is he?
serums. Oh, he's not that old. He's like mid-70s.
That's pretty old.
Not when you have his money.
Yeah. He's very frail, too. Whenever I see him, I think, man, he looks frail.
Are you calling for the end of John Henry?
Of his ownership of the Boston Red Sox, yes. I wish him a happy and healthy life. I hope that he sells them and uses the money to buy the most gorgeous place in the Greek islands you could ever imagine, and that he just lives his best life there until he's 120.
Turning 77 on September 13th.
Yeah, that's what I hope. And eventually maybe that hope will become a reality. Until then, you kick the can down the road because there's no other option. And that sucks. We're brought to you by Northeast Driving School, the leader in driver training for 57 years. Register today at northeastdrivingschool.com. Also brought to you by Uno Pizzeria and Grill. Late night deals every night in the bar or lounge, 9 p.m. to close. $6 apps, $5 cheeseburgers, $5 Indy cheese, or pepperoni deep dish at 725 Stillwater Avenue in Bangor. Order to go at 947-5000 or unos.com. I wonder if there's anyone out there in Red Sox fandom that actually is like, I wish John Henry would stay.
No.
But it can't
I think
be,
that's
right?
a 100% poll.
Isn't it insane? We should have that someday. Because up until he took ownership of this team, they were pretty bad. Like, they didn't have a lot of good years. They hadn't won the World Series, and we know how long. He provided all of that to us. So how much goodwill has he wasted?
All of it.
It's insane.
4 World Series worth.
Isn't it insane that
It's not even 4 World Series because, like you said, it was an 86-year curse broken in that. So it's like 100 years of goodwill that he's wasted.
Right? Like, it blows my mind. And it makes me feel irrational that it's like he didn't give us, but he built teams that won World Series for the Boston Red Sox when no one else was capable of it. And I feel irrational about the fact that I despise him so much now, but I'm not alone. I feel like everyone is in the same boat.
He did it to himself. You don't have to feel guilty about it.
No, but like, just it's crazy to imagine that, isn't it? That he could have done something that no one else did. That he brought the Red Sox, he paid the money to bring the Red Sox to glory under his ownership. He made the right moves. He helped the GMs make the right moves to put the right players in the right spots, to break the curse, to win multiple World Series, to make the Red Sox a powerhouse. And he gave us everything that the Red Sox fans ever wanted.
And then he turned them into an ATM to fund all his other ventures.
It's insane. Anyway. All right. Speaking of insane, the death of daylight savings time, or the opposite of death, the everlasting life of daylight savings time. We'll discuss that next. All right. Here we go. I got some things I got to get off my chest, Mark. First, I got to let you know that we're brought to you by Tim's Plumbing. Mark your calendar for Saturday, August 8th. Ricky Craven's Speedway roars to life with the Tim's Plumbing 100. That's the Darling Pro Stock Series. $4,000 goes to the winner. One of the biggest nights of the season. Bring the family out and experience the excitement with the Tim's Plumbing 100, Saturday, August 8th.
You got 3 minutes.
All right. So I think I can do it in less than that. I'm going to base this off of science and what humans actually need, not emotion. Are you ready? So scientifically, people need sunlight in the morning. That's just a fact, right? Circadian rhythms are real. We don't go off of clocks. We go off of how our bodies feel based on sunlight. That's how our bodies are designed to work. We metabolize things differently. We have sleep cycles that go along with sunlight. That's why jet lag is very real and a very big problem when you travel outside of your zones. So, permanent standard time is what should happen. Permanent standard time would mean more morning sunlight, which you desperately need for your body, especially in the winter when you live in places like Maine. You heard him say the Detroit sunrise would be 9 a.m. That's absurd. Here in Bangor, it would be like 8:10 in December.
Yep.
That's too late. Morning light is the strongest signal for setting your body's internal clock, that circadian rhythm I mentioned. Gives you much better quality sleep on average. Studies suggest lower long-term risks of sleep deprivation, depression, obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease compared with permanent daylight savings time. So all of those metrics would improve with standard time being the standard. And it's also safer for kids, right? We all care about kids. Do you want your kids waiting for the school bus at 6:30 in the morning in pitch black
darkness
when you could have at least some level of sunlight?
Well, and that was one thing where I didn't know this was implemented in the 70s because I wasn't around in the 70s. I went back and did some reading on it, and it was very quickly moved away from after the extremely unfortunate death of children, like in unsafe environments going to school.
So, and I've had people ask, because I'm very passionate about this particular topic, why does morning sunlight do what it does to your body? It's the circadian rhythm. Specifically, it's something called, and I had to look this up because I've listened to a lot of podcasts about it. I'm probably going to say it wrong. Suprachiasmatic nucleus.
And you've lost me.
It suppresses melatonin. It increases alertness, helps regulate hormones, improves your sleep, and keeps your circadian rhythm aligned. All those things are things that you would get if it's in the morning. If you shift that backwards, you're then suppressing melatonin and increasing alertness at 5 and 6 p.m. That's not what you want to be doing. You should be getting prepared for bed at that time, right? Unless you're a shift worker, I guess, and then good for you. But so it's just the dumbest thing, and it would be the government making our lives worse, which is, I guess, not a surprise. We're not supposed to be a political show. That's as far as I'll go there. And it is bipartisan, so you can take that however direction you want to take it, and it applies. But it would actively be making our lives worse to make daylight savings time permanent. Standard time would be better. What they really should do, split the difference in the middle.
But then what happens for that portion of the country or the world?
What do you mean?
What do they do? The middle.
No, I mean like not like geologically. I mean like time-wise. Like instead of having daylight savings time an hour forward or the other time, standard time an hour back, you go in the middle, you meet in the middle, half hour one way, half hour the other. Require obviously one quick like change of the clock to match it. That gives you at least some of both. But the list of pros for making daylight savings time permanent is pretty much you have sunlight at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you get to drive home from work in sunlight, and then it's dark then too. So
Stays
you get
lighter later.
Yeah, but like scientifically, we know for a fact that bodies need sunlight in the morning. Like I can't stress that enough. That's why people, if you live in a cave for 2 weeks, your body is so screwed up and you have no idea when to go to sleep, what time it is, when to wake, any of those things, because sunlight is how our bodies naturally regulate all of it. And so to say everyone, like if we have 8 o'clock, most people are at work by 8 a.m. That's when the sun rises. We're going to be missing months of the year where everyone is going to be going to work in pure darkness with no sunlight at all. And that's just the dumbest possible scenario. For us, never mind places like Detroit where he said 9 a.m.
We're going to see you out on the street corner picketing for this?
I would.
You seem impassioned.
I am not someone who likes to protest things because I think it's frankly, and more often than not, kind of like it's like you're preaching to your own choir around you, and the people that are driving by you don't. Like they don't, unless you're in their way, then they're annoyed at you, but like it doesn't benefit. But I would for this, yes.
We found the thing that you are most passionate about.
It's such an easy and obvious answer, and yet we continuously fail it. So did I make my case in the span of time that I had?
I am not someone who gets depressed by darkness, so this thing is lost on me either way.
I think you trust me.
I kind of like the winter when it's dark most of the day.
Yeah, but you need sunlight. Like I don't think you understand. You sleep. I bet you sleep better in the summer.
No, I probably sleep worse in the summer. I think I stay up later, get up earlier.
Oh, actually, that makes sense. Yeah, because the sunlight is staying up later. Unless you're in this studio where we have no sunlight.
I don't know, Aaron. The stronger case you make, you might be pushing me to the other side.
But you would be wrong, Mark. I'm just letting you know. Brought to you by Goslin's Bakery, 334 Harlow Street in Bangor. Grab a breakfast sandwich on an English muffin or croissant, plus legendary donuts and pastries made since 1945, or visit the new Goslin's Bakery in Delhi next to Hannaford and Brewer. Also brought to you by Dean's Detailing. Book your appointment at deansdetailing.com. Renew your vehicle's appearance, protect your auto investment. I worked up a little bit of sweat. I'm not going to lie.
Well, show's almost over.
All right, we got buzzer beaters next. Mark, my buzzer beater comes from the Atlantic Ocean, which I know you are.
All right.
You love that.
I do love my marine creatures. 1,700-pound
great white shark. Its name is Contender, believed to be the biggest ever recorded in the Atlantic Ocean, is heading towards Cape Cod.
Oh, boy.
And the belief is that after it heads towards Cape Cod, it's going to traverse the East Coast and make its way to Canada.
Gonna come by us then?
I don't know how close it would get, but that's what it's saying. That's the path that it's currently on, would be that it would go somewhere near Maine. Now, how close it gets to Maine, I don't know. But
it seems like every summer or so, down near like Jonesport or Machias area off the coast, there's always a spotting.
Yeah, but this one, 1,700 pounds. Again,
that's a big daddy.
The biggest ever recorded in the Atlantic. Now, is it the biggest shark on it? No, we just haven't seen the biggest shark, is my guess.
Yeah, probably.
But that is quite large.
Was that 8.5 tons? That is. Yeah, that's beefy.
Yeah, that's according to the OCEA-RCH research group.
Sure.
I don't know how you say that. OSARCH.
I will take your word for it.
They tried to mix research and ocean there, and they made a word that is very hard to say. So that does it for us today. Mark and Ernie on the show tomorrow. Chris Hadfield of SoxProspects.com will join them. And then Drive On, 2 times the prizes.
2 times.
So make sure you're staying tuned to play Drive On tomorrow here on 92.9 The Ticket.